from CardSpot here with our weekly video. It's a little bit different this week. It's not an opening, it's a duel night. So I'm playing Memento, and we have matchups against the Sharks with the new support, Purrely and Ancient Gear. Let's get into it. Okay, so I lose the dice roll and my opponent starts, so he spends a bit of time just looking at his hand and then eventually just ends up setting 2 cards and passing it over. So I start, draw my card for turn, and let's see what we're working with and what we've got to play through. So we go Tatsunoko Shigo effect to special summon itself, and then attempt to activate its effect to pop itself and send Memento monsters whose levels are equal to or less than 5 from deck to grave. He chains Veiler, I chain Bone Party, to which he chains Imperm. Yeah, that'll do it. I foolishly played Bone Party into the Imperm column like an absolute rookie. I'm pretty bad about that. That's something that I still haven't, not a skill that I've picked up yet from returning to Yu-Gi-Oh! Is that damn Imperm column. So we have an Impermed Tatsunoko Shigo that's just chilling there. We'll normal summon the Gaddock and go Gaddock effect to try and add back the Bone Party, which is going to be met with another Veiler. So he's opened 2 Veilers and an Imperm at this point. So now I'm looking in the extra deck going, alright, what can I do? What can we get going here? And so we're going to link off those 2 for, I believe, an SP. Yeah, SP comes down here, and we'll just poke for 1600, set 1 and pass. So he draws for turn. So he's got 1 back row, which we don't know at this stage. I think my back row is a droplet from memory, but we'll find out in a minute. He's going to start with Ready Fusion, paying 1000 to bring out the rarest of fish. He activates the Surfacing Big Jaws in his hand. I chain Ash to negate it, and he passes. Rare fish goes to the graveyard. My turn. We summon the Anguish and attempt to activate effect. It gets met with Imperm, but we do have the SP to chain so that we can kind of get around that and resolve the Anguish. Darkblade comes down. Okay, so I search Darkblade, not Tatsunoko Shigo, because I'm guessing I have a Bone Party. Oh no, I just pass. Okay. Why didn't I search Tatsu there? I don't know. So we get the SP and the Anguish back. But what can he do? He normal summons the Buzzsaw Shark, which is, I think, the one that dumps another shark to special summon or something like that. And then he special summons the Abyss Shark from his hand. This allows, he searches a shark and then specials Abyss Shark, and it can be used as a level 4 or 5 for a number XC summon. He searches Saber Shark, which I believe is another extender, so he's going to try and push here. So he attempts to activate Saber Shark. I chain SP just to try and get a body off so that he can't link with it or exceed with it. But he exceeds anyway, going into the Stealth Kraken, which is a crazy card. It makes all monsters water, and then you can send a water monster to the graveyard from your opponent's field and burn them for half of its attack. So he sends my Anguish, burns me for a whopping 400, and then in phase we bring back SP and his Buzzsaw Shark and draw for turn. So we know we've got a Dark Blade in hand. That's going to come down now. No back row, so I don't get the on summon effect of Dark Blade to pop a back row. I'm not sure if I've got a Memento in my hand at this point, but we should be able to activate Dark Blade's effect here. He's going to chain Stealth Kraken to try and get it popped so it can't pop itself. I've got the Droplet to chain to negate it, so we'll get that off and get the Anguish. Anguish is going to then bring us out a horse, the Tatsunoko Shigo, which we will then be able to special summon and pop and dump. We do already have a level 2 or lower Memento engraved, so we're going to go Anguish as second effect and pop itself to special back the, I think that's a Gaddock, although the glare is absolutely killing it right now. Gaddock effect will add back the Bone Party, and we'll also be able to trigger the effect of Akahiron because a Memento monster was popped. And then that will allow us to attack directly with our level 9 and higher Memento monsters this turn. So we'll play the Bone Party here. This is where we can pop the Dark Blade in our hand and special summon or search a Memento from deck. So we'll search the Sleepy, which does have a inbuilt special summon anyway. Special that to the field, And then Sleepy Effect allows us to fusion summon on summon, so we can bring out the Creation King, which allows us to dump 3 Memento cards from main and extra deck. So we dump another copy of itself, a copy of Cranium Burst, and a copy of Combined Creation. We banish the extra copy of itself to search the field spell, which allows us to set a Memento spell or trap from our graveyard to our field in the end phase. But we're going to shuffle 5 back from the graveyard to special summon out the Combined Creation. Remember, we can attack directly with Akahiron, and that's the game. Game 2, they starting this one off with the Buzzsaw Shark, which allows them to dump another shark. Pretty sure that's what it does. We'll find out here in a second. Oh, they special summon another shark. Okay, so they special summon the Saber Shark. Overlay for, I think, a Bahamut Shark is going to come down right here. Yes, it does. Bahamut, absolutely insane in this deck, obviously. So they detach one, get a free Toad, which is an Omni Negate, and it can set whatever it negates. Then overlay to the full armor guy, detach one to add the trap, and I think a spell as well now. There's more like full armor support. Adding the trap and the spell. Don't ask me what they do, I don't remember. The trap, I think, allows them to exceed on my turn, or just whenever, which is good at playing around certain things. So you get the sweet card advantage, and then overlay into full armor Crystal Lancer, I think that is. And then again into the full armor something big, the big full armor guy that was like an ultra from Age of Overlord. And then I think you can detach one to add to special summon back from grave, and then instant fusion into the rarest of fish again, and then overlay those. This is a really cool opening for sharks, like just in terms of being able to see what sharks can do. Overlaying them for another Bahamut Shark, and detaching again. You gotta love non-once per turn cards. For the Lavirtue Dragon, a new super rare from Rage of the Abyss. And that searches him another trap card. Is it Life Stream something or other? Forgive me, I'm not a big shark player. Detach another one to... I think it detaches from Bahamut Shark to add Buzzsaw Shark back. And then pitch the spell. Overlay into... I'm not even sure what that one was. Overlay into F0, Utopic Future. And then set 3, I think, or 4. I think he set like 4 cards. Oh yeah, you can equip the spell from the grave to the Xyz monster. It's kind of crazy, and I'm just looking at this field going, I have to play through so much stuff right now, and I know there's a Utopic F0 Draco Future in my future. So what am I going to do? I'm going to start with the Darkblade and attempt to pop one of the back row, pitching a mace for cost, and we hit the life stream trap thing. Then we're going to go second effect of Darkblade to try and get something going here, but I'm not expecting this to resolve. It gets Ash Blossomed because it involves special summoning from the deck. So we're going to try and horse instead the Tatsunoko Shigo to special summon itself. That resolves, and then we'll try and activate its effect on field. And that's where he's going to Xyz summon using monsters he controls, which lets him get the F0. I believe this is actually before I attempt to activate. This is just on resolution of the summon. Here we go, we attempt to activate Horse, and he's going to negate. So I'll chain Bone Party to try and proceed, because if we pop, the Horse, we can still resolve it and pop the Darkblade, but he's going to chain the Toad, the Totally Awesome, and also set my Bone Party, which is kind of a pain. And he also gets to take control of my Horse because of F0 Draco Future's effect. So now I'm going, well, I have a Darkblade, and he has still a full field of guys. I'm not super hopeful that there's much I can do about this board. Yeah, do a few checks, make sure there's nothing I'm missing in terms of like grave and stuff, but no, we'll just pack it up. Alright, game 3. So we are 1-1 at this point. So I'm going to start off playing the Memento Mictlan, the field spell, and then follow it up with the Horse, the Tatsunoko Shigo, to special summon itself, and then pop and dump. He responds with an Ash Blossom because it involves sending a card from deck to grave, So I will respond with the talents to draw 2, because that was basically my only play. I was very glad that he didn't imperm that. Thankfully, the talents is going to draw us into a Dark Blade, I believe. There it is. And we will try and get its effect off. Unfortunately, he does have the imperm, so I'm very grateful that he did it that way, doing the Ash first and then the imperm. I do have the Bone Party, however, so I can pop the Dark Blade and special something from deck, and then this will also mean that the Dark Blade can still pop the Tatsuno Toshigo and special something else from deck. So we grab Goblin off the Bone Party, and then Anguish off the Dark Blade, and then search Sleepy off Anguish, and then we're going to go Goblin effect. Pop itself and send 2 Memento cards from deck to grave. So we'll send Mace and Gaddock. And then that will trigger Gaddock's effect in graveyard as well, because it was sent there by Memento Monster's effect, to special itself, and then allow us to add something back. So we special the Gaddock, and then add back the Bone Party for next turn. Then we go the second effect of Anguish, which pops itself and specials out the Mace, and then the Mace effect, which pops itself and searches us a Memento card, in this case Memento Fusion, which will allow us to fusion summon using materials from the graveyard, shuffling them back into the deck since a monster has been destroyed by a card effect this turn. But before we do that, we'll special summon Sleepy and fusion them off for Twin Dragon. Twin Dragon will pop itself and add us 2 Memento monsters, and then we can trigger the Horn Dragon and the Mictlin to special summon 2 from grave or hand. Well, the Horn Dragon is from grave, the Mictlin is from hand. We're going to add Combined Creation and Akihiron, and then trigger both of our effects here. So we're going to grab the Gaddock and we're going to grab the Goblin so that we have the Herald of Mirage Lights live. Yep, link into Mirage Lights, and then it's time to fusion again. So we'll send the Akihiron from our hand to graveyard and shuffle back the Goblin and the Mace to special summon the Creation King, in which will allow us to dump 3. So off the dump, we're going to hit the Fracture Dance, the Cranium Burst, the Anguish. Okay, so this is just getting the Fracture Dance out of the deck. We're probably going to set the Cranium Burst this turn with Mictlin, but it means then we have the follow-up to set the Fracture Dance next turn if we want to. Shuffling back Anguish, Gaddock, Twin Dragon, Sleepy, and Horse to special summon out Combined Creation. So it's pretty reminiscent board to what we saw in Game 1. So we got the quick effect pop of the Creation King, we have the effect negation of Cranium Burst, we have a spell trap negation of Mirage Lights. Let's see what he can do. So he's going to go Lightning Storm for back row, and unfortunately I don't have the opportunity to pitch the Mace for Mirage Lights because I needed him to activate any other card effect first for me to then bring back the Anguish off the Combined Creation and search the Mace. So it's a little bit unfortunate, but we try to Bone Party and he ashes it. So yeah, it cleans up the back row quite nicely, and just leaves us on now a quick effect pop. We do get the Combined Creation here to get the Anguish and search the Mace, so that we at least have another spell trap negate if we need it, off the Mirage Lights or the quick effect Change of Heart. So he normal summons the Big Jaws, and that's going to add the Abyss Shark, and special summon the Abyss Shark and search another shark. At this point we are getting quite low in time, which is not ideal. So adding the Buzzsaw Shark off the Abyss Shark, and then Xyz for Stealth Kraken, and this is problematic because he can just send the Creation King to grave. I chain Mace, but it's not going to do anything. It's just because I had to fire it off before Combined Creation went to grave, but it is going to burn me for half of its attack, which is 2500, and is going to be enough for the win in time because there's going to be nothing I can do, and he gets the win. Oh right, round 2, game 1. We're up against, as the map might give it away, Purrely, and we lose the die roll again, so they will be starting us off. Start with, this is going to be really bad. I think that's Street. I need to really learn the names of all the Purrely cards, and pitch the Delicious, I think that is, to search for the Purrely. and then they're going to go Purrely effect on summon, which I will imperm because I don't want them to be adding any more of the non-quick play spells. And they just pass. So we will start it off with Mixlin, and hopefully there's not too much interruption here. So we'll go ROTA for the Dark Blade, which gets met with an Ash, which is unfortunate. But we do have a Goblin in hand, so we can start to get things cooking. Goblin destroys itself, and we can send 2 Memento cards to the graveyard. So I'm thinking here to send one of the spells that we can use and the Gaddock so that we can add it back, which is exactly what we do. So we special the Gaddock, and then when that's summoned on summon effect, we can add back a Memento card, so we add back the Bone Party. And that allows us to activate the Bone Party, destroying a combined creation in our hand, and special summon a Dark Blade from deck. So we will get our Dark Blade, just a roundabout way of doing it. And then we can go the Dark Blade effect to pop and special from decks, kind of like a Lone Fire. It just destroys a Memento monster instead of tributing. Special out, I think that was Mace. Anguish, yep, that makes more sense. And add the Horse. That glare is really killing the card there. Horse effect to special itself, and then Horse effect to pop and dump. So we'll do that now, and so we've already dumped the Gaddock, so we're just going to dump Mace, Goblin, and Sleepy to get that level 5. And this allows the play with Anguish, where it can pop itself and special back the Mace, and then we can pop the Mace. But they Ghost Ogre the field spell when we try and special something back, which is a little bit annoying. But we are going to be able to go to battle this turn, so we'll be able to OTK if they don't have anything else. So we pop the Mace for Fusion, just double check what I've got in grave, and we'll fire off the Fusion and shuffle back probably Goblin, Mace, and Sleepy. There we go. Shuffle them back for Creation King, and then Creation King on summon will dump another copy of itself. Actually it won't, because we've already used the field spell, so we'll just go for Akahiron, probably the Trap, and just another name at this point, because we already have Combined Creation and Grave as well. Yeah, so we just dump another Goblin. So banish the Fusion, pop the Gaddock, and add a Spell or Trap, and that allows not only follow up for next turn, but then we can special summon the Akahiron because a Memento was destroyed, and on summon activate its effect for level 9 and higher Memento monsters to attack directly this turn. So we really don't have to worry about, I mean, we could just have a, you know, something to pop that Purrely, but we can just bring back the Combined Creation and just literally attack for 8k, and we go game 2. Alright, game 2. And of course we are going second again, so let's see what the Purrely player can do. I'm really going to expose myself for the lack of knowledge, but where they go the Purrely field spell and normal summon regular Purrely, and use regular Purrely's effect to excavate 3, and amazingly they don't hit a spell, which is absolutely brutal. Hit the Terraforming, the Designator, and the Veiler. So they're going to go, I think that's my friend Purrely, discard the Imperm, and then add, I think it's the 3 cards. Oh no, it's just grab a Purrely from deck. Jeez, I'm really exposing myself for my lack of Purrely knowledge. And then they're going to add, that's my friend Purrely, so the one before it must have been Happy Memory maybe. And then my friend is going to grab the 3 quick plays, so 2 Delicious and 1 Sleepy Memory, I'm pretty sure that one is. Do a random dice roll, and it hits a Delicious to add to her hand, and activate the Delicious, and then effective Purrely to equip an Xyz into Plump, and then Plump is just going to absolutely gobble up all of these spell cards, or Foundland Trap cards, as material. So I was very curious to see that they discarded the Imperm. I was wondering if maybe she had a second one in hand. So end phase, going to add the Delicious Memory, and then just having a good old read of what all the attached effects do. It made it something massive. It was quite a large Plump, but there was no protection effect ongoing, so I wasn't really too concerned. Alright, so draw for turn. Get a little glance at the hand. We do open Duster, which is pretty nice. just to clear up those other back row, well, the continuous and field spell. So we'll normal summon the mace and pop the mace off as a starter, just to be able to search probably Bone Party here. Tossing up between Bone Party and Fusion. Ah, no, we do search Fusion, yep. Okay, search the Fusion because a monster has popped, so we can shuffle the mace back if we need to, but I think I've got some stuff in hand that I want to get rid of, so we'll pitch those two and shuffle back the mace to special out the Combined Creation, and then use his effect to dump a copy of himself. And then again we're just going for that OTK again, so we're going to dump the Cranium Burst and checking to see, I think maybe I had Combined Creation in hand, and so we're popping the Gaddock instead. Gaddock will then special and allow us to add back one of our other monsters, so we'll grab the Goblin, and then banish the Combined Creation to add the field spell and activate it. Banishing the Fusion to pop the Gaddock, and then add Bone Party here. And then we'll play Bone Party and pop one of the Memento monsters in our hand, popping the Goblin that we added back off the Gaddock. I think we just added that back to have a target. Specialing the Anguish, and then Anguish is going to search, checking names in grave, and we'll grab a Sleepy. So this is going to allow us to get to the Twin Dragon. But we'll use the other effect of Anguish to swap itself out for Goblin. This Goblin's going to allow us to dump a few more, so this is where we're going to get the Akahiron in rotation, as well as the Combined Creation. So then we'll go Sleepy, and that's going to allow us to Fusion on Summon. Fuse with the Dark Blade in hand, bring out the Twin Dragon, and then Twin Dragon effect on Summon it'll pop and add us 2 Mementos, so we'll just grab a horse for next turn, as well as the Mace, so that we have the follow-up just in case our attack doesn't go as planned. So then we can trigger the effect of Twin Dragon and Grave and the effect of Micklin to bring back 2 more bodies, as well as the effect of Akahiron. So Akahiron will special itself, then off the Micklin we'll get a Goblin, and off the Dragon we'll get a Gaddock, so that we're set up for a Herald play. And then Akahiron on Summon will declare its effect to allow our level 9 and higher Memento monsters to attack directly. And then Special Horse, because we haven't horsed yet this turn. We're linking off those two into the Mirage Lights just to make sure that we've got the right arrows. And then we will shuffle 5 back for the Creation King. Realistically at this point we're just making sure, insurance policy, but we're going to be able to OTK. That is a Combined Creation, even though the glare says otherwise. We're just going to go for battle, attack for 3k and attack for 5k because of Gauze, and we got it. Right, round 3. We are up against Ancient Gear. We lose the die roll, but they allow us to start, so we're going to Reinforcement of the Army and grab a Dark Blade. Normal summon the Dark Blade, there's no spell or trap to pop, we're just going to pop them off and special summon the Anguish to start up with the standard combo line. Anguish is going to search Horse, and then we're going to special Horse. Horse is going to use its effect to pop itself and dump, and here we're going to dump the Gaddock, the Mace, accidentally drop an Ash Bottom, and the Goblin. And then this will allow us to tag out the Anguish with the Mace to search Fusion. Of course, Gaddock effect on dump. We're not going to use the add back effect yet because we don't need to, but we're just going to tag out the Witch for Mace. And then Mace is going to add us it's going to add Bone Party. We might already have Fusion in hand, actually. I can't remember. Yeah, we do. We can see Fusion there. Activate Fusion and send the Akahiron and the Combined Creation from our hand to the grave, as well as shuffling back, I think it was Goblin or Mace. And then we're going to dump 3 with Combined Creation, we're going to dump itself, a copy of Cranium Burst, and then we kind of have everything that we need in grave up after that, so it's just going to be just dumping a random name. And because we haven't used Gaddock's add back effect, we're just going to dump Sleepy. We'll banish the Combined Creation to search the Memento Micklin, the field spell, and then we're going to banish the Fusion, pop the Gaddock, and add another copy of Fusion for next turn. So we're going to shuffle back 5 for the Combined Creation, and we have a whole bunch of stuff in our hand. We've got a Bone Party and a Fusion that we can set for next turn. We're going to use the Bone Party now to try and continue. I think at this point I was trying to get to Mirage Lights, I wanted a little more than just, because they are playing Ancient Gear and they play a lot of board breakers, so I wanted more than just the Combined Creation and the Creation King on field, because we just lose immediately to a Lightning Storm or, well, not a Lightning Storm because they're in defense, a Raigeki or a Dark Hole or something like that. So because we popped with Bone Party, we're special summoning off the Memento Mictlan and special summoning the Akahiron. Then we're going to fuse those two for the Twin Dragon with Sleepy's effect, because I believe I did Sleepy 1, Mictlan 2, Akahiron 3. Twin Dragon is going to add the Horned Dragon and the Mace, and then we'll special summon the Horned Dragon and link them off for SP. So yeah, not the smoothest play this hand. It's not ideal, but we're just going to shuffle 5 back for Combined Creation, because we at least now can dodge, you know, a big old Raigeki or something like that. We set the Cranium Burst and pass it over. So he's going to start with an Urgent Schedule, because we control more monsters than he does, and this could be a rough one. So we're going to let it ride and see what he gets. So he gets Commander, and oh no, he gets Hound, and Dark Ancient Gear Golem, or whatever that guy's called again. And we're just going to chain Cranium Burst here, just so that it's active, because I wasn't too sure of the ruling at the time around when it can be activated. Like, can you use its effect if it's face down? I believe you can, but... So he activates Gear Town, and then he activates Ancient Gear Fortress, I think. And so here I'm going, do I want to let this resolve? So in the response to the Fortress, I'm going to chain Mace so that I can take control of one of his monsters. He's going to chain, I believe, Called By, and so I'm going to chain the Creation King here, to try and just break up his board a little bit, I believe. Yeah, so we're chaining Creation King because popping Fortress is quite crucial. It's a really, really strong card. It's why it's so expensive. It allows, it prevents their Ancient Gear monsters' summons being responded to, as well as being targeted the turn they're summoned. So we just pop the Creation King and the Fortress. He goes to use the Fortress effect in Grave to special summon from hand or grave. Obviously there's no monsters in grave, so he special summons from hand, which is the another copy of the Dark Ancient Gear Golem. He attempts to use its effect, but I negate with with Cranium Burst, dropping Combined Creation down to 4k. Goes Link 2 for Ballista here, which is going to get negated again. And so he's going to attempt to use Hound to bounce the Cranium Burst, so I'll chain SP, banishing itself and the Ancient Gear Golem guy. And he bounces the Cranium Burst back to hand. And then he just doesn't have anything else, so it just goes end phase. And so we special the SP, or not special, but we return the SP and the Golem back to the field and draw for turn. So we're going, okay, we're looking reasonably okay here. We still have the Combined Creation on field, we still have an SP on field, we've got the field spell, we've got a couple of things set. So we'll put the Combined Creation and attack. Combined Creation attack into the Ancient Gear Golem, which will be a suicide since it's down to 3k. And then we can go for the Mictlan to bring back the Creation King. And then SP over the Hound, and then Creation King over the Ballista. We're going to set the Bone Party with Mictlan and pass it over. So I think he's drawing the 2 cards in hand. He has the the Gear Town on field, and we have a quick effect Pop and the quick effect Banish, as well as a Bone Party, so we can pop, chain, Bone Party, etc. So he normal summons Tanker, and attempts to use the effect to special summon from hand. And I'm going to chain Droplet to that, just because, look, we can discard the trap. It's a pretty free discard, we don't need it anymore. And letting him have more board presence, I'd just rather not. I don't know what he has in hand. So if we negate this, it's probably going to turn off a lot of his plays. Because if he had something like, I don't know, Wyvern or something that he could search with in hand, that would be a bit problematic. And then we're just going to pop the Creation King and the Tanker, chain Bone Party, pop Creation King. Creation King still resolves as far as I know, and pops his Tanker. We summon the Anguish and search Horse, and this allows our plays to get going for the turn. So we can fusion because we've now popped a card, but we're just going to use the horse and the Anguish on field, go for the Twin Dragon and add 2 cards, and then we'll be able to trigger the Twin Dragon and Grave. So I believe that's an Anguish and a Darkblade. It's hard to tell with the glare. It might have been a Horn Dragon actually. A Horn Dragon and a Darkblade. I'm sure we'll see in just a moment. So we're going to shuffle back the special summon the Anguish and something off the Twin Dragon. I think we might have used Mictlan twice there because we already used it. Was that the previous turn? Remember. Unfortunately. I don't think it would really matter too much anyway. But we special summon the Sleepy, and that allows us to fusion away all our guys, or not. So I think... Oh, that's right. I didn't have a target. But I was just able to bring back Combined Creation anyway, so it didn't matter. Alright, game 2. He makes me start again. So it's interesting because Ancient Gear, being an OTK deck, generally does want to let you start, but the board with Mementos having Cranium Burst is so strong, it's just like, oh, it's a rough one. So we start with the horse, pop itself, dump the Mace, the Goblin, and the Gaddock, and then Gaddock is going to be able to special summon itself and add us back the Mace, so now we have a 1-card starter. Normal summon the Mace, and pop itself to add the fusion, and then now we're off to the races now, really. we can go full combo. It's insane the amount of 1-card starters this deck has. So we're going to fusion using the Akihiron in our hand and shuffling back the Goblin and the Mace in Grave for Creation King, and Creation King will dump 3 on summon, including a copy of itself, a copy of Combined Creation, and a copy of Cranium Burst. Some of these Memento cards are just crazy, man. So now we banish the the Creation King from Grave, add the fusion, activate the fusion, banish the fusion from Grave, pop the Gaddock and add another copy of fusion. This will allow us to special summon out the Akihiron because a Memento monster was destroyed, and then we can Bone Party and pop the Akihiron and special out the Darkblade. Darkblade will then allow us to pop it and special out from deck. And here we'll grab a Anguish, I would imagine, because we haven't used Anguish yet this turn. We've just used Horse and Mace. Yep, grab the Anguish, and Anguish is going to search the Sleepy, which will allow us to fusion again. So Sleepy will summon itself out, and then on summon fusion for the Twin Dragon, and Twin Dragon effect will pop itself and special out, to add 2. So here it's going to add Mace and Goblin. So we have the Mace for the quick effect take control, or the Goblin for the quick effect non-target. And then off the Twin Dragon and the Mictlan we can special summon Horse and Sleepy and link them both off for Mirage Lights because they're both same type and attribute. And now we have the Fairy in hand as well with Mace for the Spell or Trap Negate. Bring out the Combined Creation and we can set the Cranium Burst in the end phase. So this is looking like a pretty strong board. We also have a Fusion and a Cosmic Cyclone that we're able to set. So realistically, a lot to play through here. The monster negates, the quick effect pop, the spell and trap negate, there's a lot. On his turn in his draw phase, we're just going to fire off the Goblin so that he now can't target any of our Memento cards. So the only targetable card is the Mirage Lights. And we'll also chain the Cranium Burst again just to make sure that it was active. He's going to play Ultimate Slayer here and dump the Clefort Scout to pop the Mirage Lights, I believe, which is like, okay, and you can't respond to it with monster effects, so it's fine, it gets around that, but we are able to chain Mictlan because the Mirage Lights was destroyed. It's just a monster, it doesn't have to be a Memento monster, and then that's going to add us the Anguish. Anguish is going to trigger and add us another Memento monster. So we're going to grab the Sleepy here, which is going to let us fusion whenever we want to. He's going to play Advance, and we're just going to Cyclone that straight away, because Advance lets him search, and it allows us to keep the Creation King live, and that's it. He's got nothing else. So we end the day 2-1. So there we have it. That's the Duel Night experience with pure Memento. None of that Fiendsmith stuff in here. It is just pure concentrated Memento. I think looking back, there was definitely some plays that we could have done better. I think definitely against the Shark player, losing to time was rough. Could have probably played a bit faster, but it is really hard with Memento. You have to really know when to scoop because the combos take so long. But it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the deck. So let me know if you enjoyed this kind of video. And if you want to see more things like this with maybe different decks and things like that. But I just thought since it's a new set release with ROTA, Memento got some more support, it would be cool to kind of show that off. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. And if you did enjoy the video, feel free to like and subscribe. We've got daily pack openings, we've got regular pack openings, we do weekly deck lists, you name it, there's a lot going on. So make sure to subscribe to not miss out, and I'll see you in the next video.